I spent the past year creating the perfect Minecraft world, surviving 1,000 days. Almost. Actually, right now it's day 940, which gives us approximately 10 to 20 hours of playtime, depending on how much I sleep, before we hit the big 1,000. And before that massive milestone, I have 8 things I want to do to end off this era. And that begins with setting up a fireworks show for the big day at my seaside town. I'm realizing now that I actually have no idea how fireworks work in Minecraft.
At the core of every firework is the fireworks star, and this is what actually contains the awesome.
Okay, so I have made 4 custom rockets and also some test rockets just to make sure it all works. I think I'm going to use the pulse repeaters to time them because obviously I don't want them to go all at once. Pulse repeater. That is cheaper than I thought it would be. So I think we're going to set the fireworks show offshore so then we can watch it from the promenade when it's time. I'm hoping flight duration 3 will be enough. I actually don't know how fireworks interact with water because my original plan was to put the dispensers under the water, like under the sea. My plan is if we sit watch here, I guess you want them to be around like where those sea pickles are would probably be good. So essentially we're going to have 8 waves of 4 and each firework is going to go off 2 times. Okay, and now that's all working. Now we just need to put somewhere to put our, our pulse repeater sequence. And anywhere will do, so let's just do it like under the park. And I might just curl it around for the second time. I was gonna make it loop, but I think this is actually easier. Sand first, gravel, then cobblestone, and then tough. Sand, gravel, cobblestone, tough. Okay, so this should actually all be complete now. If I go ahead and stock the dispensers full of fireworks, they should fire, so I'm gonna test it out with my testing batch. So when I toggle this on, it should work. I really hope it doesn't get stuck in the water. Okay, let's see. Okay, so that was, it's not what was supposed to happen. Should have worked. Wait, why didn't it work? That's a massive pain in my ass. I'm gonna have to make a new batch of fireworks now. You kidding? Okay, so after a lot of testing in a creative world, I realized that there is a hard limit for how far you render particles. So I've moved the dispensers like significantly closer. This should work now. There we go. Okay. So that took a lot more time than I anticipated, which is not good. We are running out of time, so let's quickly stock up these dispensers with the real fireworks and get on with the next thing I have to do. I wanted to use this opportunity while we're just kind of doing work on the seaside town kind of area to decorate some of the houses. As of right now, some of these houses are pretty empty, and they've been pretty empty pretty much like since I've built them. They don't really have to be anything too fancy, which is why I've gathered just a bunch of general building blocks, and we're just gonna make it look a little nicer than it is now. Yeah, that's looking heaps better. Our town doesn't look like a facade anymore. Unless, like, you fly above. We don't talk about that. I especially like this one, even though it's, like, the one house you can't access. And that is one more day. So if you've been following the series for a bit now, you'll remember that I still have a station that I need to build. It's still a bit messy over here. This might be a problem for another day though.
So that other day is today.
When I first built my train system, I put a station there because otherwise there's just like a long stretch of track with nothing to occupy it. And I've never gone back to finish it. So today that's what we're gonna do, finally. And somebody way back actually suggested, I'll put the comment up, that we turn this into a train yard. And I think that's a pretty good idea considering it kind of already is one, it's just not very good looking. Okay, it is now done. I really like the look of this thing, actually. I think the idea here is I'm gonna connect this track up with over here, and then we'll extend this all the way up to about here, maybe? I have a bunch of mangrove planks in my inventory here to just fill this area in because I wasn't too sure how I wanted to do this. Uh-oh. I think it will derail our trains, but there's nothing we can really do about it. I think we'll just let them collide first, and then we'll fix it after the platform is done, maybe? Okay. Oh, I think I see the crash. Oh my god, it just straight up starts going. 1 minute and 6 seconds is the ideal time between trains. Okay, so... Okay. Ah, there we go. Okay, now it's all functioning. For a second, the train schedules weren't working, but I think all it takes is the train to pass it once. Okay, we have wasted a lot of time on this, though. That's kind of scary. Okay, so this is when things get serious. It's currently day 963, and we've completed 4 out of 8 objectives, which is actually really good pacing. But the next one is the one I suspect to spend the most time on. For quite a while now, we've been running with this as our main XP storage, and while it works, it's got some flaws. First of all, it's kind of ugly, but mainly it can't make hyper XP. And I think I've put off hyper XP for long enough. I want to start the next 1000 days with over enchants on my tools. That's a bad example because I don't even have enchants on my axe. Over enchants on my tools. So let's start with building this thing. So this tank works very similar to the old tank. As a quick little showcase, you still have your pump here where you pump experience into the tank, and then at the front here you have a pump where you pump experience out of the tank. But the most important part is this section right here. Now this looks kind of confusing, but I assure you it's really not that bad. Basically, a lot of these pipes are decoration, but the main thing you need to focus on is this mixer right here, which has a pump coming out of the XP tank. And the reason for that is because Hyper XP is made with glowing sacks, lapis, and liquid experience in a superheated blaze matter. So basically, this is a lot more complicated than it looks. All you have to do is you have to pump some XP into the basin like this, and then you have to put, let's go ahead and create some right now actually. I hope I have glowing sacks. Oh, I do. Okay. And we gotta put that in there, put that in there. Okay, mix it up, and then that gives us Hyper XP, which we can then pump out through here. Okay, the yield is very low. Oh, it's like 300 to 500 or something like that for one hyper enchant. So we're gonna need a lot of glowing sacks. Is there a crafting recipe for this? Oh, yes. Okay, we can bulk haunt. Okay. The reason I've made this process more unnecessarily complicated than it should be, like instead of just hooking everything up to the stress system, is because I don't think I'm going to be making that much Hyper XP. I think I'm just going to make this like one batch, and then that should be like all the Hyper XP I'll need for this playthrough. Okay, we have 300 millibuckets in here. I do still need to set up the enchanter system though. So when we pump this into here now, it should, okay, nice. It's filled with Hyper XP. And this is where I think the bulk of this episode will go. I want efficiency 6 on my pickaxe, right? That was kind of the whole point of this. Like we could do Unbreaking 4 and all of that, but it's not as useful as efficiency 6. And my original plan was to like enchant a full set of tools, but after seeing how expensive Hyper XP is, like I've gone through half of my XP storage in like one sitting. Problem is we are missing an efficiency 6 book. We have Mending and we have Unbreaking 3. The thing is, I have not really messed around with villages that much because the only problem is getting the initial enchantment book. After you've gotten that, you can just copy and paste it using the printer. They were in this clearing right here. My jetpack is actually quite low. Oh, I don't think, aside from the villages that I've trapped, I don't think there's any more villages here. Okay, well, it looks like the villages I trapped aren't here either. Oh, God. Oh. These ones are still, the one that trades wheat for emeralds is still alive. That's good. I don't actually think there's a single village on this island that has villages. Oh, there we go. We actually have a few more emeralds left, so maybe we can get another enchant. I'm missing looting. I've been for a while. Oh my god, finally. Perfect, okay. Not on the cutting board. That's horrible. Oh my god. Perfect. It's looking a lot nicer. Now, the last two things I want to do are kind of more special. They're less so projects that I need to finish up around my world. They're more like fun little experiences, I guess. And the first one requires us to go back to a place that we have not been to for a long time. Oh, I see it. I see it. Last Christmas, about a year ago, I built this little Christmas cabin and this little Christmas tree and celebrated Christmas in my survival world. I left this little present and I said I would open it next year. which is now this year. I originally was gonna open it during another Christmas special where I build like a little cute Christmas town in this area, but it turns out I'm not gonna be in the country, so I can't really do that. Now, I know it is quite a bit of time before Christmas, but I'm gonna open it now because this is probably gonna be the last survival series episode that I make this year. Now, I remember what was in here, but I don't remember the details, so I'm also quite excited. Okay, so we have some cookies, and we have a book. And in this book is almost like a time capsule of where we used to be at. So I guess we should continue the tradition. Last year, this was the 16th of the 12th. Right now, the date is the 4th of the 11th. When you're watching this, it'll probably be around mid-November. For me right now, it is the start of November, so I'm filming this very early. Now, a year ago, we only had 815 subs, which is insane because at the moment of recording, I have 6,197, which is like so much more. We also had 60,000 views. We now have 765,000 views. So that is quite the improvement. And finally, we had 2,643 watch hours. Now, a year later, we have 69,314. If you're unaware, you need 4,000 hours of watch hours and 1,000 subs to get YouTube monetization, which means when I recorded this video, I wasn't even making money off of YouTube yet. And now, thanks to you guys, we've come so far. So genuinely, thank you to all of you who have been watching the survival series and my ranking videos. It is because of you that I'm able to do this, and it's so great. I guess we should put it back in here and come back next year. And I think while we're here, we should enjoy some of the food. I think this year we should take a bite of the apple pie. Oh, I gave us speed. That actually is not great. Now, on the topic of revisiting old things, the last objective on my list of things to do is to rebuild the plane that we lost and fly around our island. Now, Clockwork is pretty buggy, so the plane I built all these episodes ago kind of like glitched to the ground and disappeared. But I think it'd be quite nice now if we went back and remade the old plane just to fly around our island one more time, now that it's all been a little more developed. When we first built the plane, we didn't have the railway system. This was incomplete. The factory district was like not even there, and we didn't have the seaside town. So it will be really nice to go through again. Ah, there we go. Okay. Okay, let's go. Oh, I guess I fly around with my jetpack like every day, but this feels different. It still astonishes me every day that you can do something like this in Minecraft. Anyway, I thought a fun way to do this would be to go through each section of the world and recap it by episodes. So if you've either been following the series from the start or you've gotten up to this point in the supercut, then it's kind of like a trip down memory lane. But for most of you, it'll be more like a recap, so you're all caught up. In the first episode, we started at this farming area, building a little farmhouse, the windmill, and the wheat farm. I remember being a little ambitious with this episode and being short on gold. That was a core memory, but it turned out to be pretty worth it because this wheat farm kind of supplied me with food for like the next 6 episodes. Episode 2, after searching for a place to build our factory district, we settled on this island. We then built this massive power plant and this, I still don't know what this is called. I guess it's a flare stack, I think. This episode was very ambitious. We filled this thing up with lava. We took all the lava from the nether through a massive lava pond, which took so long. And we gathered all the materials using a really efficient cobblestone generator. In episode 3, we used that same cobblestone generator to build our really efficient ore farm. And we also built the storage house. Oh God, this is laggy. This was the first video that kind of popped off on my channel, which was kind of interesting to me me because I didn't think it was as good as the other videos. Anyway, the most important part of this video was, I would say, the warehouse, because we ended up using that as our main base of operations for the next like 10 episodes. Episode 4, I decided to take a break from this area, and we went over here and built this runway followed by the exact plane that you're seeing. This was a really cool episode in my opinion, because the whole gimmick of the mod pack in the beginning was that it was centered around Clockwork, which I guess didn't really age that well because I haven't done anything else Clockwork related since that episode. Still, I rarely see Clockwork in survival-based content, so even building this plane made it feel pretty unique. Episode 5, we had some errands to run. There wasn't that much building. I mainly just used the episode to catch up on a few things that I had fallen behind on, like killing the Ender Dragon. Yeah, it took me quite a while to kill the Ender Dragon. We also went mining and got rich, and set up the enchantment system by enslaving the same villagers that we went to today. Episode 7 was, in my opinion, one of the more fun ones. We built the Christmas area! I still love it to this day, it's so cute. We made a little feast using Farmer's Delight items, we made a little Christmas tree, and we wrapped up the present which we unboxed today. I was pretty busy around that time, so I couldn't really make a massive Christmas special, but still, I really like what I came up with. Wait, did I say that was episode 7? I meant 6. If I said 7, I meant 6. Oh my god. This town was episode 7. I had a surge of motivation. Hold on, let me actually sleep first. I actually went in real life to a seaside town at the end of 2024, and I thought the vibe was so cool, so I thought I would have a go at recreating it in my survival world. This was actually a really fun project, and it was a really nice way to just step back from all the create mod stuff that we had been doing before. This is still probably my favorite project in my world to date. Episode 8, I killed 2 birds with 1 stone, building a diamond factory and also a wood factory. The diamond factory was kind of an extension from the wood factory. I had grown tired of always mining for diamonds when I needed them, and also wood was really useful to build with, and I didn't actually have that much other than jungle. I cleared a lot of jungle trees. Oh my god, that was close. Episode 9, I built your shop ideas in this little seaside town plaza. This was actually one of my favorite episodes to film because you guys had some great ideas and I loved reading through your comments and making them. I really would like to do more of this in the future sometime. We also came up with a name for the town, which ended up being Bikini Top, which I still think is very funny to this day. Episode 10, we finally got around to building a train system in our world. By this point, we had a lot of different kind of districts. We had the farming area, we had the factory district, and we also had the seaside town, and I thought it would be a really fun idea to connect it all with a train system. What is going on right now? I think the whole train project made the world feel so much more complete and more alive. I still really like the tram designs to this day. They're based off the Melbourne trams, if you didn't know, by the way. Episode 11, we finally went back to the farming area. After the first episode, I had kind of started to neglect this part of my world, and in episode 11, funny enough, 1-1, I wanted to make this area feel more lively and useful. We ended up building a bunch of farms. They're underground, so you can't really see them. And we also linked it up with the factory district via this freight train. Oh, it is very hard to focus on a plane. Anyway, we connected the 2 areas up with this freight train, which collects all the stock from the farms that has been generated here and delivers it off to the factory district. Episode 12, I finally got sick of gathering all the materials for my buildings. When I design a new build, I always do it in a creative mode world first, which kind of causes problems because I don't really think about the materials I use when I build. This big factory here was meant to solve that. In this episode, we automated so many different types of blocks and materials, and it made my life so much easier. We finally, in this episode, after putting it off for so long, upgraded to netherite. And additionally, we kind of closed off the factory district, completing the build a little bit. Before this, it was just kind of a bunch of buildings scattered in a little plateau, but now it's got a whole fence and stuff around it. It's very cool. And that leads us to episode 13, or the last episode, where we came back to the seaside town and built this little square extension thing, along with a restaurant and a capybara cafe, as well as this lighthouse, which I think looks pretty good. Capybara cafe was something that I wanted to build from the very start. It's basically the reason why I even included the mod promenade, so being able to finally do that was pretty cool. And now you're all caught up. We're now on episode 14, which is the last episode of this era. And I think that finishes up our little air tour / trip down memory lane. Let's land this plane and hopefully not lose it this time. Nice. Okay, and that leaves us on day 990. Well, we made it. Sun is about to set, so I think I should make my way to the seaside town. There's the sun setting. I think we should take maybe one more walk around our seaside town. I don't know. Actually, I just need to kill time. I was gonna make a car system, but never really got around to doing that. Damn, as poetic as it is to not have my armor on, I need to get onto the roof. So, like, let's go out the window. Now, all that's left is to wait until this clock strikes 12 and hit the button. I kind of can't believe that it's been a year on this world already. This past year has passed so quickly. The Survival series is where my channel began, and I don't plan to stop. This will not be the last episode, by the way, if that's what it feels like. But the next episode will be quite different. And that's it. I'll see you guys in the next year.